Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Akom Kessie 2025 lecture series. I am Kwesi Amoa, currently serving as the executive director for Akom Kessie. For those that are new to us, welcome. Akom Kessie was started back in 2016 with the help of Afua Babio, Akosua Bakan, and Afua Abwaje. Um, with the help with the thoughts of being able to have an annual event where we could come together and talk about a comb, talk about things that are associated with the comb. The first idea was to just have like a really, really big festival, and every year we'll have like a really, really big festival. But we also wanted to provide another opportunity for us to be able to talk with each other at a combs at other events. So when we attend a comb, which is a spiritual event, we normally dance, sing, we praise the gods, have some food, and then we end up leaving. So Comb Kessie was started with the idea of trying to forge a closer net community. Um, so this year is going to mark our 10th year of actually holding the conference that we had. So all of that has been possible because of members of the board who have been dedicated to this cause. So right now we have Nana Ama Willock, who is on the call right now. Nana Ama, are you there?
Yes, I am.
So I want you guys to please give Nana Ama a big, big thank you because she has been one of the strongest supporters of Akom Kessie throughout our history. There's not been one Akom Kessie conference that she has not come to since we started. She's a former board member of Akom Kessie. We're going to be putting out the rituals for a comb for death, the death rituals, or about a burial society. Nana Ama is the primarily person who was wrote that. We wrote it in committee, but she did a lot of the heavy lifting. So Nana Ama, I want to thank you publicly for all the work you have done. I know probably people probably see me as the face of a comb, Kessie, but it's really not about me. It's more about the community, and it's because of people like you, we've been able to do the work that we've been able to do. So I thank you. I say Madasi, Madasi, Madasi for all the work you have done and everything that you will continue to do. And I ask that your family is bestowed with blessings and riches that you could not even imagine. So I definitely wanted to publicly acknowledge you for all the work that you've done and the other board members as well, but specifically because you've come off of the board, I wanted to be able to say something about what you've done for us. And I say, Madasi, thank you.
Yo, Nyasidanim. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Not a problem. With that being said, this is our lecture series. As I said, this is the first of our lecture series. And Nana Yao Asamwa Sarpong is one of our board members. He's actually a little gem in the sense that he has all these little hidden talents and stuff that he does and he has available and he just never tells anybody about. And I'm like, bro, yo, let's share that information. So I'm happy that he's come forward to share this information. His family is probably one of the most influential families in a comb culture because he has direct connections to the continent, blood connections. His sister, Okonfo Nana Nyamache, is also on. And what? Is Nyla on?
Oh, Naila, yeah, she's here.
Yeah. So his family is one of the few. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. I don't know of any other family in the culture or that dealt with the culture that has direct blood ties to the coach. So I'm not sure. So as far as I know, you're the only one. There are other people I know, but talking about that's really, really into and involved with the culture. So
Mhm.
with that said, let me just read a quick bio. Nanayal Samwa Sarpong is a St. John's graduate in broadcast communication and a two-time Emmy Award-winning production manager on the Rachel Maddox Show on MSNBC. He is the son of the late Nana Aba Inson Oyosum Afolabi Sarpong. So sorry for butchering the name.
Sorry, Afalabi Sarpong. Oshunyomi Afalabi Sarpong.
And the paramount chief for the city and state of Agogo in Ghana. Nana Kwame Akwo Sarpong. Someone loves and enjoys being an advocate of the Akan culture and wants to help with the legacy of Akan culture the best way he can. Just as Christians believe through Christ anything is possible, or someone believes with the shrines anything is possible. Sama has his wife, Aquia, two children, Nana AC and Manu. Sama tries his best to travel to Ghana at least once a year to connect with his father's side of the family and connect with the people of Agogo. With that being said, please welcome Nana Yao Asamoah Sarpong. Thank you.
Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Uh, like Nana Quasi said, this came about, or this presentation came about because of, my recent trip to Ghana. The last time we went was January, where me and my sister Nana Yamache went to Agogo, and she was able to experience things firsthand. And sometimes to get caught up in being or in being amongst that, you kind of forget and take a step back to actually be appreciative and to understand the impacts of that, you know, that of the things that you constantly see or be around in a sense. So this trip was also inspired by her because most of the videos and pictures are from her perspective, and being surprised and even sometimes certain details I didn't really share with, my other siblings as well, and really understand how big of a deal or how much contributions the city of Agogo and my father has contributed, not just to Wakanda in America, but to the Ashanti Empire as well. And being a direct descendant of that is it's a privilege, to be honest. It's also a responsibility going back and forth, but I'm gonna get right to the presentation to share the details and how it all came together in some shape or form. So you guys should be able to see my screen now. Yep. All right, so this is the look into the city of Agogo. It's a city-state, again, part of the Ashanti Empire in Ashanti Akim North, sorry. So introduction, obviously we went through that. Sorry, I'm just going to speed through along because we're a little behind, but I want to make sure that we get through all the slides today. So we'll start off with the history of Agogo or myself. Most people know me as just a Samoa or related to, my other siblings, and kind of tend to forget, who I'm a descendant of. Most people know my mother, but, most people also know, or not, a lot of people don't know that who my father is, and able to piece together that, my mother was one of the first Akan Yoruba priests in America, and my father is currently the chief of Agogo. So during the beginning of our homes, how they met and how I came about and things of that nature. We was able to recreate this picture. The first picture on the left is me and my sister Yamache, who was also not biologically my father, but my father adopted her and even swore an oath to her and let everybody know that he claimed Nana Yamatri as his daughter. He was able to recreate that picture to the left 20 years later, this past January. So, right. So Agogo is a town. It's 52 miles east from Kumasi. And it's also the administrative capital of the Ashanti Achim North Municipal. It came about in the 1600s. And Agogo Henny owes allegiance to the Golden Stool and swears to the Ashanti Henny with the Mpomponswo sword. The Agogo stool is one of matrilineal descent. It has a Busial classificatory system as Adwana. This is actually one of my father's throne chairs in his throne room, in the council room. You can see as is the symbol of the Adwana, which is the fire-breathing dog, as a family symbol, as the clan symbol. It's a hereditary stool through the lineage, matrilineal lineage. It's said that the people from Agogo migrated from Nyansua, a town in Nsawam in the eastern region of present-day Ghana. It's known as the naturally walled town. It's surrounded and encased by mountains. Due to the many years of loyalty to the Ashanti Henny and the Golden Stool, the Agogo Henny will always have a quote-unquote seat at the table with the Ashanti Henny. That's from the years and generations of loyalty to the Ashanti Henny and to the Ashanti Empire. So normally when the Ashanti Henny gathers everybody, the Ashanti Henny, I forgot the title of the left-handed chief, but the Agogo Henny, sorry, always sits left to the Ashanti Henny. As you see, it's another picture of my father to the left, and I forgot this chief right here. Apologies. I have to find his name and his title. But Agogo in the diaspora, right? How it all kind of pulls together or comes together is was one of the first cities in Ghana to actually make like Black Americans or Pan-Africans in America chiefs, co-chiefs. I don't like to use the word sub-chiefs, but co-chiefs. So kind of help facilitate not just the Akans in America, but also many other or another famous ATR, which we'll get to. I won't spoil it. But it started with basically as the Akans in America became more prominent, the voices of the people here in America, the Black people in America, were starting to be heard throughout the diaspora, not just here in America, but in Ghana in general, right? So that's how, we always talk about Latte, but, Agogo also had played a part of it because it allowed to build a further connection, a more permanent connection as well. As you know, one of the first non-Ghanaian chiefs, or biologically non-Ghanaian chiefs, was, the great Nana Yao Paradeni Zulu. He was the first non-Ghanaian allowed into the in the Council of Chiefs, and he received the title of Asamoah Henny of Agogo. So giving him that title allowed Akans in America to have a permanent tie to Ghana. Most people may or may not remember there was a famous Akom in Agogo where many of Akans in America became citizens or sworn citizens of Agogo. And that
I was there.
privilege,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
there.
They still remember that at home and they still talk about it to this day, even though it was 40 years ago. Wow.
About that. It's
Yeah,
about 40 years ago.
about 40 years ago, right. So to this day, that Acomb and the ties to the Akans in America still uh reigns in the mind of the people there, you know, and allowed the relationship to be built and allowed for people to come and still be a part of the diaspora in large, right? So it's not just us as Americans having to provide resources for towns in Ghana, but it's also a relationship that's a give and take relationship. It's not just us doing for them, it's a way for them to do for us, because now that those citizens we are not just the people from that home, but Akans in America in general, they do have rights to Agogo, and which we'll discuss later. So obviously Nana Apari Zulu was the first chief to serve as an ambassador, so to speak, to Agogo and to from Akans in America to country of Ghana. And the name of Samwa, which is also my middle name, that I normally use, I go by. Most people think it's my first name, but it's not just my name, it's also Samwa Denizulu's name as well. That name kind of rang prominent during that time. And they say that a Samwa, even though literally the literal translation of the name, a Samwa means silkworm, which means to make things sweeter. So back in the olden days, they used to put silkworm in their drink to make their drink or coffee or tea sweeter. But the name of Samwa also was named after a previous lost king. And they were saying that when a Samwa left, they kind of needed a Samwa to come back to kind of put things in order. So the name of Samwa, though it literally means to make sweet, it also means to it relates to the legend of a chief back in the days who was the lost king, or who was a traveling king and came to reclaim and put things in order. And so that's how that name, how I got that name, and how Asama Denizulu got that name. And she was the one who actually had told me that story and actually filled me in on the history of the name of someone. Right, can we go to the next slide? Not going. There we go. So as I was saying earlier, previously, even though I saw a set, they are more towards Egyptian deities. The basis of the foundation of their culture and their religion is based upon Akan magic, so to speak. Shekem Shekem or Ra'um Nafir Amen the first, he was installed via Agogo as well. So he received the Epo stool. So even though it may be viewed as a different religion, the Akans are still tied into a source set as well. Which is probably the reason why a lot of people from a source set probably find their way to it, because of the ties to Agogo and the ties to Akan culture. And another chief, there's a chief in Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, Nana Mokwa Yadon Jata, another Black American who's installed as the freaking, sorry, he can, even I have trouble with this, freaking Crown Henry of Agogo. So there's a community in Louisiana as well. His job and title is to more so bring books and provide libraries for the city of Agogo. So there's people, Akan people in Louisiana as well. And we also have Nana Kofi Tuda. He's installed as an Henny of Agogo. We recently just went to go visit him in a community, a Akan community in Philadelphia. He was also a former, I don't know how to say the word, but I guess former Somerset member who found his way from a Somerset to Akan. And there is a Akan community in Philadelphia who has ties and have a relationship with the city of Agogo as well. So all that, to say is basically, it's a way to open up communications, is a way to provide a home for people who were robbed of that home, and to understand that the bigger picture is the reclamation of the so-called lost children, and to kind of build upon that relationship between and reclaiming, our heritage. Just that in itself is a revolutionary act. And it's to say that even no matter what we went through, even through with the slaves, transatlantic slave trade, we are still victorious in the end because we are able to reclaim our names, reclaim our culture, reclaim our religion, reclaim our clans, reclaim our habits, and to say that in the end we are still triumphant in rediscovering ourselves and finding ourselves all over again, regardless of what happens or what will happen or what has happened. Sorry, I went too fast. 1 second. So Agogo during again, we spoke about earlier how the Agogo Henny or the city of Agogo, the chiefs of Agogo have earned the right to a seat at the table with the Ashanti Henny. That's due to always being there through the wars, even the colonial wars with the British. So during the Ya Asantewaa War, my great uncle, Nana Kweku Che, he had actually abdicated his throne or the throne to fight along in the Ya Asantewaa War. Unfortunately, he did pass in that war, and we still remember to this day, and the palace in Agogo is even named after him in honor of that. And my brother, Nana Kweku, is also named after him as well. So I know people like to call Ya Asantewaa in the libations, but you could also, call Nana Kweku Che as well, because that wasn't no small feat. He was brave enough to step down and actually be amongst the people and fight when his people to support, the Ashanti people. In some cases, because the families were so tight, when they don't have a picture of Ya Asantewaa herself, they have been using photos of the Queen Mother in place of Ya Asantewaa. That just goes to show you how tight the families have been in previous generations. And now we're going to get to the interesting part. We have aerials of the city of Agogo, which so you could get a Can you guys see this video? Can you guys see this YouTube video?
Nothing is coming up as of yet.
That is so weird. Okay, give me 1 second.
If you can see it, it might be necessary for you to stop sharing screen and then go to that particular tab.
Apologies, what was that?
If you can see it on your laptop, you might have to stop sharing screen on this screen and then and then share screen on the other tab, whatever it is that you see on your computer. Can you see it on your computer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now you stop sharing screen. Now reshare again to that video.
Are you guys able to see the YouTube bar now?
Yes.
Okay. Were you guys able to get that?
Yes, we saw it.
Yes.
All right. I have another video to share. Stand by. Thank you, Nana Kofi, for that assistance.
You're not for that.
Are you guys currently seeing this current video right now?
You have to share.
Boy. 1 second. Sorry about that. A little rusty. There we go.
From oral history, we are told that in the 1600s, two elders from the Asuna clan by name Ejakon and Frimpong Ekon and some female family members migrated from a village called Akwokere to this village now called Agogo. Akwokere is in the Bekwai area of the Ashanti region, and since there were no vehicles back in the day, these elders, locally known as Nananom, walked all the way from Akwokere to Agogo. As they walked through the forest, climbing hills and mountains, they came to meet a clean stream, which was very cool and refreshing. They exclaimed in the local parlance, "Ah, yabre, yagogo," meaning we are weak, tired and exhausted. This is because they had run out of water and food for a while. They then quenched their thirst with the refreshing water, Agogoa. Due to the conducive nature of this place, they made it their abode and named the place Agogoa.
Nananom, who first migrated from Akwokere, were the Asuna people. In fact, they traveled a very long way from Akwokere to arrive at this place around 1600. And since you know that water is life, after traveling that long distance, and you also realize that this town is surrounded by, hills or mountains, they were tired. So when they came to find this stream, according to history, it was a very small stream, but then it was surrounded by trees, and then it was very cold, and it could quench your thirst.
The name later got corrupted to Agogo. 50 years later, another group of people from the Adriana clan joined the original settlers, the Asuna clan. In the course of their stay, they intermarried, and that increased their population.
They came with only 2 men, but the women were many. These people who came at first were Asuna clan, from the Asuna clan. So it took about 50 years for the Adriana clan to also arrive here. But then when they came, they had a lot of men, and then they took these women who had arrived earlier as wives. So one could also say that this town has grown to this level. It is because of our love, understanding, and hard work.
For its role, some may assume that the stream will be revered and seen as a source of spiritual water and resorted to for other ritual purposes. But residents say, apart from serving a purpose for the early settlers, it is currently not used for any spiritual purposes. Apart from the Agogoa stream, there is another stream, Kore, which serves as the spiritual backbone of the town. Again, from history, the stream is said to overflow its banks across the main road whenever there was an external enemy attack back in the day.
We are told, so that is part of the history of this town, that in the olden days, you know that there were wars. So anytime there was war between or trouble between any town and then Agogo, what they did was that the caretaker of the shrine or the Okomfo or the fetish priest will perform the rituals that are necessary to conduct. There's a lake up there, and then the lake will flow like a river, very swift, and then nobody can walk across or no car can pass through. And then it will cut Agogo out of the reach of the enemies.
This is the Akwija stream, the main spiritual backbone of the entire Agogo town.
We have consulted the forestry people. They will be growing trees, around the banks. And then there are other, things that we will have to do. And then we have crocodiles at the palace. Yeah, we want to bring the crocodiles here. They will be accommodated at this place. Because, they bring forth to young ones, and then people come for them, and then we give to them. So it looks like we don't have any more big place to accommodate them. And therefore, we are going to prepare this place, and then we'll bring them here. So a tourist site.
Agogo is a full-grown state with a population of about 90,000. The community has several towns and villages under it.
That's why we have a mahine, because for any chief to attain that position, you need to have a lot of towns, under your main, town that you oversee.
The people of Agogo celebrate the Akweja Siakwan Festival, which is a festival of peace, thanksgiving, love and harmony among the communities. Until recently, another festival which is called Plantain Festival, celebrated in October, is being introduced. The Plantain Festival was introduced by the Omahene of the Agogo traditional area, Agogo Sarpong, who has reigned as a paramount chief for 43 years. Wednesdays are set aside as a Wikudai in Ashanti. Chiefs observe this day as sacred, where sacrifices are made for the gods and ancestors. Sub-chiefs also come to pay homage to the occupants of paramount stools and perform other duties, such as settling disputes, among others. This is a typical Wikudai in the Asante Achem Agogo Palace. This is the aerial view of the town Agogo, with a well-planned layout road in the heart of the town. Agogo is uniquely hilly landscaped, hence the name naturally walled town. It happens to be in the same mountain range as Ebri, although the town is in a valley. Agogo schools include junior high schools, senior high schools and tertiary institutions. The Basel Missionary was established in 1928. The first nursing training school in Ashanti was also established in Agogo in 1928. Agogo is said to be the first planned town in Ghana and was so since 1911. The land is fertile, so farming is a major occupation in the area. Cocoa, watermelon, tomatoes, mushroom and other crops are grown on a large scale here. Plantain also remains the major crop grown in the town, serving the entire nation and exported to neighboring West African countries such as Burkina Faso, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, and Togo. The naturally walled town Agogo in the Asante Achem area under the Nana Okyoko Sarpong gained a lot of popularity for good reasons until the Fulani herdsmen saga. Today, the town is once again alive due to its large-scale plantain production.
Sorry, where am I? This guy still with me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
absolutely.
All right. I would like to give credit to Celeste Avi. She's a journalist. She does a lot of videos about Ghana. So credit to her. Just trying to pick up where we left off at. Okay, let's see. Apologies. And it's another aerial, but that's 6 minutes. We don't need to. I'm actually going to skip that video. It's about 6 minutes, but I'm going to actually get into the actual palace itself. So these photos are of the palace in Agogo. Again, credit to my sister Nana Yamache for taking these photos. This is from the last trip that we made in January. So also pardon some of the audio. We argue, like, not argue, but brothers and sisters, we kind of rag on each other a little bit. So pardon if you ever hear us ragging on each other in the background. Again, photos of the palace. This is the back of the palace where they hold the combs. This is where the drummers sit in quarters. I can see is where they have. Sorry, I mentioned where they have all the combs with all the open space in the back. Where they have not just the comb, but where they have the ceremonies where they swear other chiefs in, where they have council meetings. A palace has also served as like a community center for people to have council meetings and settle land disputes and things of that nature. Yeah. This is the dedication to the palace, sorry. When my father dedicated the palace to Nana Kwekuche, as I mentioned earlier. If he's his great granduncle, I think he's my great great granduncle. And my great grandmother Nana Ama Nyarko Domtie, who we dedicated the palace to, who was a major pillar in his education, his upbringing. And my grandfather Charles Sarpong. What's up?
No, I'm
Oh.
sorry. I was responding to Nana Yamache's response to the town that the shrine that protects the shrine, the shrine that protects the town.
Oh yes. So sorry, let me backtrack to that. So the shrine, one of the main shrines of that area is not our friend. What they was mentioning in that video was his wife, actually they were calling it the Akoja stream, but it's not our friend's wife is named, one of his wives, sorry, is named Akoja. And she's as they call it in Ghana, a quote unquote white deity. I don't know why they separate them, between light and dark or whatever. That's how Ghanaians classify it. But Akoja is more so, it's not a friend's first wife. And she herself was also a system as well. So there are other deities in the Akoja system. I'm sorry?
No, I was clearing my throats. I think for the reason they probably call them white shrines is because they have they probably use the shere or the white powder.
Shade white powder, yeah.
Yeah, because with the Suman Brafo shrines, they're normally considered quote unquote the dark shrines.
Right.
Most of a lot of them they wear black moto or some type of stuff for their when they come to possess. So that's probably the reason.
Right. But yeah, the reporter Celeste, or they were saying in the previous video, was the Akoja stream. So they will pour libation to that stream or to that river or to that body of water to actually flood, so enemies wouldn't be able to invade. So yeah. Sorry, go back to the palace. And the palace is named after my great grandmother, Tia Domtie, who my daughter is named after. It's a middle name. The name. I'm sorry.
Can you move that block so people can see the dedication that's on the palace, please?
Which block?
There's a block that's, I don't know, maybe it's my computer, I don't know, but
No, it
you
was
can't really.
it was the last slide. Yeah, if you go back to it.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah, it's not. You can see it now.
Okay, yeah, it's the dedication, who the palace was dedicated to. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Agogo Palace is more so one of the newer ones, one of the first ones in the Ashanti Empire after the British left. If I'm not mistaken, I think this palace precedes Mashir Palace, because the Mashir Palace before was destroyed in, I think, 1935, and then this palace came after that, and then Mashir Palace is rebuilt after this, the palace in Agogo. I could be wrong. I gotta double check that. But somebody there did say it was kind of the first palace in post-colonial times to be built. So I'll go back to the next slide. But again, the palace was named after my great grandmother, Domtie. The name Domtie means bringing people together. During those times, I think the family was actually put in exile due to certain political reasons, and for a few years, my family was actually in exile, but they were able to reclaim the rightful ownership, or not ownership, or the rightful ownership of the stool to the city of Agogo. About 5 years ago, there was a statue built in honor of my father. When he reached 45 years as the chief of Agogo. This December, he actually breaks the record of Agogo's longest sitting chief, and he'll be the third longest sitting chief in Ashanti history. If he makes it to 54 years, he might be, or will be, the longest sitting chief in Ashanti Empire history. So this December, there will be a major Big Akom celebrating his 50 years of sitting on the throne or the stool of Agogo. And I think this is the actual video of the actual entrance. Again, this is my sister's footage. It's all cell phone footage, so this firsthand experience. Just confirm you guys can see this. Everybody can see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
All these people are hiding from us.
Why?
They're gonna have some fucking money.
Part of my
So they
language.
The
sitting on
palace
your
is a
dad's thing?
compound, not
Yeah.
so the palace is in the compound. So some of the
You
things
pay
that I've seen
homage.
before is just like one building.
I'm sorry?
So the palace is like really a compound more so than like just one building.
No, it's one building.
So all the buildings that were shown on the side, what are those?
That's the actual, so the way my father has set it up was that palace is the main building, and then adjacent to it and surrounding it is the compound where the other family members live.
So it's all connected as one building, though. It's connected as one building.
No, it's a separate. It's a gate that separates the rest of the compound. So can I don't want to, let's see. I don't think I have a video showing it, but the way my father constructed the palace was he built it where directly in front of Atia Domtie's childhood home to kind of symbolize that she was the one who backed him as a young child and believed in him as a young child. But the way it's set up, the palace is one building, and then there's a gate that separates to the right of it. To the gate, to the right of it, it's the compound for the family, and then it circles around to the actual palace. But the palace itself is one big giant building. And sorry.
So when you first come through the gates and what you guys just saw, this is me in the car. When you first come through the gates, on the right hand side is the Queen Mother's palace. So that's one area, but it's all on the same compound. And if you go towards the left hand side, that is where our family's houses are. It's like little different compartments, like buildings or what have you on the left hand side. The main palace, of course, is in the middle, and where the crocodiles are past the main building. And in the back, that's where they would have our combs and things like that. I don't know if I recorded it, but it's
there. Yeah, it's there. We'll get to it. Thank you. All right, there we go. Wait, is that twice? Is that there twice? Okay, this is okay. Here we go.
So in the
You said a naturally walled mountain area?
yes, it's walled by mountains.
Oh, wow.
The town is walled by mountains. So during the olden days, when there's a war, people will be hiding on the mountain so they can spot the
People coming.
the enemies coming, so they attack them, so they don't get to town.
Oh, that's good. Using the landscape, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Hey, why you rat me out to the whole friend for thing?
Is it?
Why you rat me out about the whole non friend thing?
Ever he gives orders.
Huh?
The orders goes to the frontier.
I know, so why you tell him that I'm going? Then he gonna say,
Oh boy.
No, I have to inform him.
Okay, yeah.
Because he gives instruction. When I go without telling him.
Okay. So, okay, yeah.
See,
He said not to concern myself.
Sorry about that.
so in the
Steps it in.
so this is where we hold the like in-house.
Over there, Peacock.
He said that already.
This is where we have the in-house bevels. That's where Nana's chair is pushing.
This is nice. I like the Adinkra symbols on there. Jin Nyami.
So you see a peacock walking. There's a you see so watch your
How old is it? He's been here for years, man.
That's the female.
yeah, it's a female. This is a female.
Has to be foul. You see how that's a room too, right?
So this is where we put the libations, all that we do all the stuff. And then that's where that's the throne room where you have the stools of the former chiefs. That's where it's stored, and that's where we pour libation to do the sacrifices.
Again, apologies, brother and sisters, we rag on each other sometimes.
Steps again.
So this is where
Well, I don't understand what's putting twice, but
The spider with the dust too. That's great.
these are the alligators. We have a natural
You gotta go to?
mangrove area. We have birds, about 20 different species of birds.
Oh, and bamboo.
Oh, look at all this nut. Oh shit, look at all the nests.
The nest.
Where?
So in the evening,
Oh, in
they'll
the
come back.
in the tree.
It's like 100
Yeah.
nests up there. Like 30, 40.
In the evening, they all come back.
This plant is good.
Yeah. No, can you feel the dry air?
Yeah.
That's the Hamatan season.
Oh, look at that lizard.
Where?
That little gecko right there.
All I see is the Agogo and the little baby chicks. One of the nests fell. Oh.
I think the kids, they've grown, so they've grown. So this is the alligator.
And you know bamboo is good, right?
Yeah. First one,
What's that?
that's the crocodile.
Oh, they're inside there.
Yeah, that's one there.
Well, I don't even see. Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah. You see,
That's not tight. I mean,
they are not tiny. We just
when you
took
got
some
rid of-
away.
Yeah, you gotta give some
You
away.
see,
Oh, look, it's
they are
coming.
hungry. When you come and they come, then it means they are hungry.
it's also good to mention that the alligators, though my father uses them as a tourist attraction, it is also a symbol of the shrine of the spirits in that area. The crocodile is more so a symbol of the shrine in the area, not our friend.
The spider with the dust.
3 days ago, because the roots are messing up with the walls. And this tree is more than 40 years old.
Which tree?
That tree
The
is
tree there,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, 40 years old.
Do you see? We call this the natural wall town. So all the mountains is covered, surrounded by mountains.
Yeah. Baby, the day is done. Let's go.
Okay.
If we don't go fast, you sleep.
Oh yeah. All right.
So after that, we continue with our talk.
We are at the palace in Agogo. And we're about to meet my brother's dad. I haven't seen him in a long time. He's old.
I think this is us leaving us leaving the palace.
She's in. Huh?
She's in Agogo now.
Oh, she's gonna go now. Yeah, she said that she knew. When I went to go see her last time, she said she knew my mother.
Yeah, mommy came here.
No, she said in Brooklyn, like before she came to Brooklyn.
Yeah, when you was born, a lot of people came to the house. Plenty.
Sorry, sorry, I'm gonna pull it back. This whole area is the Queen Mother's house. So it is it looks as like it's one big compound, but it's kind of separated, as Nani Amateur was saying, it's separated by a gate. So to the left is to the left is the Queen Mother's house here, and to the right is the compound with the rest of the family.
Town.
She's in. Huh?
A lot of people came to the house. Plenty. So I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hello.
Those when you go up there.
And the palace leads out to the main road.
Yeah, this is the statue of my brother's father. This is in the front of.
Okay. yeah, so that was pretty much the palace in itself. A firsthand experience of it through my sister's eyes, through my sister Narayamache's eyes. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna go right into it. Back to as far as opportunities are concerned. Um, you may or may not notice there is land available to lease for farmland. Um, it's 150 Ghana cedis per acre per year. Right now, so it's probably about 15. So basically, it's $15 an acre per year if people want to go and lease farmland. Again, going back, tying to Akans in America, anyone in the Akan or a Sourcet diaspora, if they want to build a house on the Go-Go, they actually get the full 99 years. Normally, if you're a non-citizen of Ghana, you will only get 50 years to build a house or a land lease for a house. But because of the oath sworn to Akans in America, anybody, not just me, anybody who wants to go to Agogo and build a house, they get the full 99 years of land lease to build a house or build a compound. And they can be renewed through future generations. You will have to petition for it. Or make sure that your trust or will is set up for the people to take over after you will be able to reapply for the land lease after those 99 years are up. Cost for plots in Ghana, in Agogo, about 8,000 Ghana cedis to about 25,000 Ghana cedis, depending on the location. And the plots start at about 100 by 70 square feet. Or you can get like 100 by 100, but it's basically to say that anybody who's a Khan or anybody a part of the diaspora can get land. It's an easy way to do it. I could provide numbers and information for it. But again, it's not just a thing where it's just one-way, a one-way relationship. It's a two-way relationship, give and take, right? So it's not just us partaking in our home and donating money to build roads and things of that nature to towns, but it's also a way for us to reclaim not just our name by culture, but reclaim land and have land, have projects if you want to. So I'm saying basically go visit Agogo if you can. If you're in Kumasi, if you want to, plan on building a house that's not too far from Kumasi, about an hour drive. Agogo is more than welcome to. It's welcoming to people of Akans in America and people in the diaspora. And that is it. Thank you. My number's below. If anybody have any questions, my email is below. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Again, I'm here as a resource, not just for to even if you want to just discuss the culture, discuss the aspects of the culture. I'm here. Anybody want to know about chieftaincy? I can ask questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll ask for you, or ask on your behalf. And we could just talk shop and chop shop and all that good stuff. But that's pretty much the end of it. Any questions for anybody?
So for people to know I think I did the calculations. The 25,000 CDs is equivalent to today's money is $1,666. 8,000 CDs is equivalent to $533. So the land up north coming out of from Accra going up is way cheaper than
Yeah.
the stuff that you find in Accra. Accra, they got like New York prices or DC prices. It's pretty expensive. So someone, do you know why the people migrated from the place they were to Agogo?
I do not. I think there's a historian who kind of documented it all. I think somebody, I forgot the guy's name, had came across the land. Some kind of war had kind of broke out, and that's when how the land got adopted into the Ashanti Empire. I don't know offhand. I have to look it up, but it's out there. It's public information. I think that's the one privilege I have, is to basically just do a simple Google search and call somebody to actually have the history or document it and things of that nature.
Is Nanasechi on? He said he had a picture with your father in the 90s. He
Oh
sent it.
wow.
So that's just show you how small the world is in terms of connections.
Hello, Nana.
When you
Nanasechi, go ahead.
Oh, you were calling me?
Yeah, I was saying you had said that you sent me a picture of him with his father in the
Oh,
90s.
yes. Yes.
So I was
With his
saying it's a
father
small
years
world.
ago. That was taken in Miami when he came
Oh.
here, met him. Yes.
Oh wow. What you said in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. So that probably aligns around the time, which is brings me to this fun fact. Fort Lauderdale is actually sister cities with Agogo. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So it's probably around the time that has been established. So even Fort Lauderdale has ties to Agogo, funny enough.
Right. Yeah. It was good. It was nice meeting. I think I have another photo. I sent Nana one. I think I have another one. I have to look for it. I think I took about 2 photos with him.
Mm.
So someone you're saying you're doing a documentary this year on him?
Yes. So he's breaking the record again. 50 years. December will make 50 years. I kind of want to document that large Akoma, or large festival. There's also footage of his big Afa shave for the 45th, his 45th year, which was pretty big. So this one probably will be even bigger.
So the two major festivals there, one you said one was reintroduced from the video that they showed. They say there was two major festivals. One was a purification festival, I guess, that they have. I guess it's kind of like Ojira for the
Yeah. So I wish I would have I could find that video. Maybe I might do a part two. But they normally they go throughout the town with the broom, that Ghana broom, and they kind of sweep out old energy. Let's kind of sweep out that old energy at the new year, to bring in new energy, so to speak.
So they have an annual yam festival for their shrines or there, or how does it work according to from the stuff that we've learned so far?
I don't know about a yam festival, but it is a plantation. Sorry, not plantation, plantain festival. They
Plantain
started with.
festival.
There's the Yellow Plantain Festival that they started.
And when does that happen?
I'm not sure. I had it listed. I don't remember it off top. There's so many fire shades I got to keep up with, but
So is it in the winter, fall time? When is it around yam time? Because normally most the yam festivals that I'm aware of normally happen in the fall, probably going from I would say as early as October. I mean as early as August, probably to December. So and there's some that even happen into the new year that I'm learning about. So does it happen in the fall season?
yeah, in October.
In October, okay.
Sorry, I just looked it up. October. Well, my wife just told me October.
Right. So that's the Plantain Festival. And then
That's the
what was the
Winter
one?
Festival. The Shrine Festival, I'm not sure when. I think it's February. I think it's normally in February. I have to double check. I have not been able to make that one. Just the way that my schedule lines up normally.
So
I'm either going in December or Yeah, most of the time I say December.
So in the palace, they had show where the shrine stews were. So
Mhm.
the does the chief do all the rituals for that, or does he have someone that does that for him?
Someone does that for him.
Is it a konfo or is it a chief?
It's a chief of the shrine, so to speak, like
Oh,
an asafo or a vosunfo in that shape or form. There's one person that manages the shrine and all those rituals. And there's even another chief who's in charge of uh, guarding the burial site where all the other chiefs are as well.
right. So can you talk a little bit about the structure of the chieftaincy there? So you have Agogo Henny is the main chief, and then I guess he has sub chiefs.
Yes.
What are their titles and their functions? Or if you don't know their titles, at least their functions.
There's
Yeah.
many like that the Freaker Henry, he's more so to provide education, provide libraries. The Kobe Henry in Philly, he's a cultural chief. What else? There's a Nephi Henny. There's
So they have
it's so
they have
there's
so pretty much they have all the trappings of what the Asante Henny would have, but it would just be to the
right,
Agogo Henny.
right. Like those three chiefs in that video, they were Chinese Hennies.
Okay. All right. Cool. Does anybody have any questions for none of y'all? Any comments? And Yamache, would you like to say anything before we close out then?
No, I think my brother explained it all thus far. Um,
Somebody asked us at the festival in December. Yes, the festival is open to the public in December.
Can't wait for your documentary to come out. It is so important that we document
Mm.
our history so that others don't and tell the wrong story. So I'm so happy you're doing that. But that's
Thank you.
Someone, another quick question. Do you know how your father met Nana Yao Paradini Zulu?
I've been trying to figure that out for the longest. I know during that time, I think he was either doing speeches at Queens College, and I think that's how they met. I don't know the exact story of who linked him to who. I know also during that time in around the 80s, that was around the time Ghana was a still thing under military rule. And they were kind of just getting out of the CIA, getting the CIA out of Ghana so it could be opened up back to the public and African diasporans. So around that time, if you look up the Susudi's affairs, um, it was a big, big, big dramatic thing. And I think my father had to negotiate. I think he was the interim Minister of Foreign Affairs. So around that time, they were negotiating getting the CIA out of Ghana because they did contribute to the coup of Kwame Nkrumah. So, and I think Ghana didn't have like a president for like 10 years. It was under military rule for like 10 years. So I think around that time, he was coming to New York and DC to kind of help resolve that in addition to speaking to diasporans about Akan culture. I don't know who made the connection. I'm still I've been asking everybody. I don't know. Nobody has any information, so anybody knows, please let me know.
You spoke to Anipo Busi about that?
No, I never asked. I thought
They should, somebody from that client,
There's somebody there might know.
somebody there should know, so I'll ask around too. I'll ask when I see them next. I'll ask Nana AC. All
I
right.
also want to mention the shrine itself. Again, the shrine is not necessarily on the compound, it's down the block. It's also open to the public as well. Anybody can go in and give an memory, could get a bath or get service. The way it's set up is that the town or the shrine is there to protect the chief, but is also there to protect the citizens. Even when you buy farmland or lease farmland, you do have to give in a memory to the shrine when you clear it out, or when you cut things, or when you even plant things. So it's one of the few towns where the shrines are still embodied in the land, and it's very open about it. Even the palace itself to the right, where directly across from the statue of my father, there's a shrine at the gate as well that they also give drawing to protect like the town and protect the palace and protect all the people in its constituents. Even last time we was there, we went to go, just do some pay respect to giving a memory. We were seeing people come and to get help from the shrine and things of that nature.
Ooh. Well,
Greetings. I have a question. This is
Sure.
Nanasechi. I want to thank you very much for the presentation in which you have highlighted a lot of the chiefs that are here that are part of the Gogoheni lineage. I'd like to know, is there a broader community in which these chiefs serve a function in terms of galvanizing those who are part of the Gogoheni community here in the Americas and basically promoting the culture?
Yes.
So I'd like to know the function of these chiefs that are here that are doing that.
Yes. I think one of them, well, not think, I know one of them is Nana Tuda, who I mentioned earlier. He has a fasces. He has presentations, and he's very involved in the community in Philadelphia. It allows people to have council meetings and things of that nature to try to keep police out of their business, to try to handle things on their own. There's also an Agogo society in New York as well, where there's plenty of members of, or family, distant cousins who all come together, and they do party. I have not been able to link up with them as yet. But there's those chiefs, in addition to maintaining their duties, they do have events and gather and do presentations about the city of Agogo, and almost act as ambassadors to the city of Agogo, the city-state of Agogo.
You mentioned there's, oh, excuse me now, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You mentioned that there's a Agogo community in New York.
Yes.
Is there, which is a part of that as well?
Yes. There's not necessarily a chief per se. I mean, hypothetically, as far as New York or the tri-state area is concerned, I guess I'm some kind of ambassador. I mean, I was installed as a child, as an official royal family member. So it is some of my duties, but a lot of my duties are more so about getting things done for the town itself, more so like charity and things of that nature. I mean, I haven't been really open about it, but there hasn't been necessarily.
Why doesn't that surprise me, huh?
Of course. And last time I was working for NBC, I kind of was petitioning them to donate computers and things of that nature. It didn't go through because they were concerned about security measures, but yeah. Yeah, there's not really. I mean, there are multiple communities that are sort of a part of Agogo. Even the people from Assault Set are supposed to um are part of that as well. I hope that answers your question. If I'm not, please, you can
No,
elaborate.
I really thank you very much for sharing
Yeah,
your information with us here. So I really want to thank you for that. Thank you
no
very
problem.
much.
Thank you. But yeah, there's plenty of communities that I guess they support in their own way. Um, they do visit. Again, Shake 'em, I Shake 'em is part of that as well. The whole Assault Set community is a part of that as well. Some of them do visit, or they do. I know Shake 'em, I Shake 'em have been going to universities and speaking about Agogo and its ties to Agogo. But as far as all of us coming together, we haven't done that yet. But everybody's doing their part bit by bit in the multiple states throughout the
So,
United States.
so Nana Samwa. So one of the things that I can see from based on this conversation that you can probably help us do, Nana Fori and I, we've talked about for a while, establishing chieftainship here in America,
Mhm.
probably needing to have some type of connections to the house, the chieftaincy, the House of Chiefs in Ghana,
Mhm.
kind of help facilitate that process, or at least provide some type of instruction in terms of how this stuff go. And then even with the thing that Nana Sechi and I had talked about with the um setting up the connections where we can go back and we have a source that can help us build up the community here.
Mhm.
Think, since your father's a chief, I'm sure he definitely has direct connections, and then the people that are here we can probably chime into them as well in terms of just talking to them.
Right. I mean, he's done it before. Again, like Denizulu was the first non-Ghanaian to actually be introduced to the Council of Chiefs in Ghana. So that speaks about. But I think it's also the fact that we can't also force destiny either. You have to. It takes a special kind of person to kind of to rise up to that as well. And I think that's what it really is. The issue is finding these people who have that in them, who is actually meant to do that as well. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say it hasn't been done enough because outside of Denizulu, I don't recall anybody else doing it. I mean, people have sworn oaths to Agogo itself, but as far as the overall council, I'm not really sure that have granted that access.
Pacho, this is not a Kofi, just to follow up on this same comment. And by the way, I also appreciate the presentation you just made. It's as you just said, one has to be mentored to sit on the stool. And that's the thing that Nana Kwesi-Amoah and I were talking about. If we're talking about perhaps having a component of the community here that consists of queen mothers and chiefs and so forth, there's a whole process of having to be mentored and
Chosen?
that's a process
Yeah.
that takes a great period of time before one is actually installed, and be recognized. So perhaps we can discuss further offline in terms of who we could align ourselves with that could facilitate that type of mentoring.
As mentoring and also being chosen as well, right? I think I think that's really I mean, that's been the challenge of the Akan culture in general, is more so of finding people who are destined to do that because it's and then them rising to that is more so the issue. Yeah, that's been more so the issue of trying to establish, to broaden the culture in itself in order to find these people. Go ahead.
Um, there's a question that I wanted to ask. Is that why do we need chiefs when we don't have continuity in our communities? And why Ohenis instead of Abusia Penins? Are we skipping steps?
We need that too.
No, I mean,
I'm
we
not
gonna,
only asking you, bro. You know, it's just
yeah.
saying in general. Everybody really
Um,
wants to have chieftaincy of something where we need other areas fulfilled before chieftaincy comes into play. So maybe we should fill those roles first before any big titles.
well, yeah. I mean, I think there's a way to do. I mean, I
So
would say,
go ahead,
um,
and I'm listening.
yeah. I mean, the thing about chieftaincy is the reason why. I mean, we can do both at the same time, like because we definitely there's a shortage of chiefs, there's a shortage of brothels as well, right? But I think it's
Sure,
there's a shortage of everything, but
except for confos. You got too
Yeah,
many of
definitely.
those.
It's
I
definitely
think
except for Convo. There's too many of us. It's a
Yeah, but
plethora of
too
us,
many.
and
I
we
think what
need
it
other. I know I mentioned before about other um fields or other areas in Akom that needs to be filled before not everybody. I mentioned this before where everybody is not supposed to be a Kumfu. Everybody is not destined to be a Kumfu, but here in the US they are. And
well,
without the other key components that make Akom, it's we're kind of like doing what? Being
well,
flashy for what?
well,
When other things is not, there's no base to it.
okay. So I mean, in fairness, though, the reason being there are so many Akonfos because they're really supposed to be in a Akonfo for every family, right? So there's a lot of people who don't even have that. So that loop needs to be closed in itself. So that's probably why, there are so many Akonfos because a lot of the times when people are coming to this culture, it's normally just them. They're not bringing their whole family. It's just that one person. And it's supposed to be in a comfort for a family for every generation, so to speak. But I think I want to say the issue is, but I think what it is that we could do a better job of including people. And I think it's just more so the actual ritual itself, because 9 times out of 10, there is a grandmother, there's a grandfather, there's an uncle that people have in their family that people look up to who are already doing those jobs as chiefs as well. Right? There's always the uncle that knows somebody that knows how to fix things that everybody calls. There's always the auntie that everybody who knows all the family business and knows the gossip and keeps track of everybody and things of that nature. I think it's more so about inviting those people and having them participate in the cultures instead of just um, going through the journey alone, because it's intimidating sometimes to the comfort journey is intimidating to most people. So, but if you could find, we could do a better job as not just saying you, but I'm saying we as a con folks, we could do a better job at inviting the family members who do teeter, who may feel like they don't have, who may not know that they could be on Ochimi or be on a brothel or be a chief or a queen mother, because there's people that's already been in that position. I mean, look at us. Look at Grandma Ellery's house. Grandma Ellery could have been a queen mother because that house has had over 100 homes during from the 1980s to now. You know what I mean? So simple things like, I'm just not saying that should be, but that could be an example of inviting people, the people who have been on the sidelines, who have just been cheering us on, and to kind of convince them or just mention to them the available positions that they already are doing. Because everybody has that uncle, everybody got that fly uncle who's too cool and just very wise that everybody calls when they're going through something. Everybody has that aunt, you know, and the cousin and the big cousin and all that other stuff, and getting them more involved. And I think it's more so about the thing about chiefs is I'm gonna wrap it up, wrap this thought up, but you know, comforts are more about spirit, and the chiefs are more about providing a space or order for the people in the community to operate in. And I think it's also about making these positions cool, right? Like most people don't know, like being an Ochimes used to prevent wars. And they still do prevent wars and prevent all-out fights and battles, because a lot of chiefs are very slick and arrogant. And sometimes they'll try to be like, listen, I've seen wartime. I'm not going to say it that way. I'm going to say it this way so we can avoid an all-out battle or all-out Donnybrook and actually avoid bloodshed. But I think it's more so about the cultural and making the positions seem enticing and seem cool. But most people don't know that El Chinese, like, it's not just about being a linguist, it's about establishing law and establishing, again, preventing wars, right? Like going be the man in between and knowing what to say, what not to say. And understanding that I know Chami's not a flunky, but somebody who actually appreciates his position, his or her position, and understand that like they're at peace with it because they don't have to deal with the pressure of being the chief, but they're still contributing to the overall culture. And I think that's what it is understanding that we need these things. We need because I mean, the Muslims do it. They don't go to the police. They handle things on their own. You know what I mean? They have order in some shape or form. Sometimes they don't, but you know, they have order. They have their own little communities. And I think that's why we need to explain to the people why we need chiefs or Chinese.
So,
Um,
so my
and-
thoughts on this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I finished my thought.
My thought on this is that one, you know, we've Macomb Kessie, we've helped establish a council of elders for the community so that people can bring their cases or their issues to the council of elders in order to be able to adjudicate some of these things without going to the law. So as an organization, we're trying to put some of these things in place. One of the things, my hope is that the Council of Elders will establish abusia panyins for families. But I think also you might need to have a top-down structure, because if you have chieftaincies established, then those chiefs will be empowered to create sub-chiefs. And from those sub-chiefs, you'll have that start creating the organization that's needed. And even with having an Okonfo as part of that stuff, you'll start filling out some of those positions, some of those functions that are associated with the culture. So the Okonfos and the Bosunfos are key, but it gets more attention than the other parts of the culture. And I think that's, as far as I'm concerned, right now we got a bunch of churches and everybody doing their own thing. Nobody can tell nobody else what to do. Nobody goes by anybody else's laws. No, so, and I'm not so I think having the chieftaincyship will bring structure to a bunch of this stuff in terms of, and then we're linking it back to Ghana because that becomes or Africa, that becomes the source in terms of this is where it's coming from, but we're adapting it for the states, for those people here. And I think it'll also grow, and it'll also probably grow exponentially because it is structured. Right now it is not structured, and because of the chaos, because of it not being structured, we see what we see. We don't see growth. If you think about from the beginning up until now, are we losing or gaining people that are interested in the culture?
Mayor Paltrow, I would like to speak for a minute. Sorry about my voice. I love the presentation, first of all. This is Nana Sewa
Thank you.
from Washington, D.C. A few things I wanted to, I've been listening. There's already a couple things. There's already a structure which represents the Comfort side, and it represents the chieftaincy. For many centuries, for a long time, the Akamfo was the advisor to the chief. The system is a beautiful system. You have the left and you have the right. And what has happened is because a lot of our people during the Middle Passage has come here to this land, and we've been going back and forth. And so when I heard that the Comfo comes and maybe they don't bring their families, because we have to understand there are many who called and many those who have been chosen. So they have been chosen, they may have been chosen as an individual, but they also representing the Nsamafo, and they're representing their family from a long time ago. That's one thing I wanted to say. And my godmother, Nana Nkosahima Operabia, has introduced what we call the ANANA, the National Alliance of North American Akamfos. So that's a system, it's a new system that we're introducing to let Akamfos know that we have a voice here in North America. We have established voice. We're not stating that our family members in Ghana, we come up with different, we have grown, we have come from two family trees, which is Nana Denny Zulu and Nana Mepacho, Nana Aquia Operabia. So we have that tree. We also have the tree of Ashanti. We have all these different trees, and we must respect those trees. So as I listen, I just wanted to put that out, that we're not, we are established. And we may seem like a boost, that certain shrines have they do certain things, they have their rights to do that. But if we come together, like Akoma Kessie has done for many years, and I have to give them a shout out, because they have brought something together. But there is a moment in time that things are changing. Things are changing rapidly. And the Busi opinion is very important. You cannot,
In a minute, I'm on a call.
you cannot disregard what that means, that family and those families to set up the situation. And I don't think we have to change much. We just have to honor and respect who we are, born in America, and our family members over in Ghana. And when we bring those two together in the amount of respect that that is given to both, I think it's a powerful union. And that's what I wanted to really voice my not my opinion, but how I feel about that, the coming together of the two. And I think that NANA, the North America Alliance of Akamfo, is a way to do that. So I wanted to put that out. I'm gonna be assisting and representing and putting that voice for any Akamfo who wants to find out more about it. But it's not something that challenges anything else. It's to bring forth and build upon something that we can do together. And I needed to say that. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
No, Madasi.
Anyone else like to have any comments? All right, well, it is now 8:54. So I'd like to thank everybody for giving us your time. Thank you, Nana Asamoah, for your for your presentation.
Thank you.
It provided
for having me.
some good information for us, some things for us to think about. In the chat, I posted our 10th annual Macomb Cassie Conference. This year, we will be in Jamaica celebrating. The conference is going to be 3 days. We'll do what we normally do for those 3 days. As the schedule stands now, we'll have our first day, which will be a meet and greet. That Saturday, we will have, I'm trying to line up Nana Kwesi Konadu to talk about the history of the Maroons. We're going to ask the Council of Elders to do a brief presentation as we normally do. We're going to talk about the state of Acomb. We're going to be reflective over the work that we've done over the last 10 years. And then that Sunday, we're looking at doing some rituals at the beach for the ancestors. And then the rest of the time, we just going to have fun. So everyone is welcome to attend. Again, I posted a flyer in the chat so that you can check out any of the information. And if you need to get in contact with me, please feel free to do so. The prices are getting higher and higher. Some people have opted to do some Airbnbs, which they will probably come the day of the conference. So with that happening, that means you would have to get a day pass for the hotel in order to come onto the ground. So, but I'm still doing the research to find out what that's going to cost. But like I said, everyone is welcome. And again, thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you for having me. Please keep in touch. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.